Hi guys, Justin here. First I want to say thank you to everybody who viewed my video, gave it a like, decided to subscribe to my channel. It's fairly new, but I wanted to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to the video, give a little bit of feedback in the comments about it. I really appreciate that. But what I wanted to get on here to do today was talk to you guys a little bit about my ascension process, how I came to find my path. I want to say again, thank you to everybody who has, liked, shared, and subscribed to my channel. It really helps out with getting this information out to more people. And it really lets me know that people are, viewing this and, kind of taking this thing that I'm saying into consideration. So my ascension process, I became aware of my ascension process, I would say around October of 2019. So I'll give you a little bit of pretext into how those things happen. About September, I had lost my job. I worked for a major Fortune 500 company. I lost the position that I had with the company, and I took some time off. I went on vacation because I hadn't had a vacation in 2 years. And so I took a trip and I went and saw some college buddies and we hung out for about a week or so. Once I came back home, that's when my process started. And it started with, me just realizing that, what do I want to do from here? Really dove into my thoughts about, where I'm going to be 5 years from now. What steps I needed to take to be where I wanted to be in 5 years. And that process really got to me. Like, it really shifted my focus from everything. I cut off a lot of my friends. Anybody who knows me know that I am a big shoe person. Like, I have tons of shoes. I buy shoes a lot. Well, I used to buy shoes a lot because that was my comfort place. That was my safe place. That was where I felt, how when you complete something or you reach a goal or you, you meet the requirement that you set for yourself. That was my way of treating myself. I would go out, or not out, because I never buy anything in store as far as clothing, but I would go online and I would buy, myself a nice pair of shoes. Some people go, out to dinner. Some people, take a, a weekend vacation to celebrate. Some people, I don't know, may go buy them an outfit or, go get their hair done or nails done, any kind of way that, you want to celebrate your achievements. That's what I usually would do. My way was, going out purchasing a nice pair of kicks because I'm a really big sneaker person. So what I realized was when I started on my ascension process, I realized that a lot of the things that I was doing in the past, a lot of the off the whim type things that I would do, was a big problem in my life. It was something causing me to do that. It was something that I had inside of me or deep inside myself that caused me to always feel the need to go out and just buy, sometimes for no reason, sometimes for a reason, and I felt like pretty much that was a major addiction that had held me back from so many things, so many opportunities, not even necessarily with as far as my work. I mean, as far as, you know, my finances, as far as, you know, me, I've always been big on, you know, handling my bills. I've always taken care of my bills and everything. So that wasn't really an issue, I thought, until I really began to get on my path and see that there was more bigger things, more important things that I needed to focus on, being that I am in my early 30s. You know, I don't have any kids. I needed to think about now how to structure my life for my future. And at first, you know, it was hard. I thought about it like, well, I've always done this. What is this? I really didn't pay it any mind at first, until I had a big tower moment. And what a tower moment is when Spirit, God, Universe comes in your life, when after so many times God has tried to come to you and let you know that something in your life needs to change. There is something in your life that is off balance, and you are kind of ignoring those things that I'm trying to show to you that you need to correct in your life. I was blind to those things. And it was like I wasn't paying attention. I could not hear through my own shadow, my own shadow spirit, things that you think are one way, but they are not. You think this thing is this, but in reality it's something bad or something totally worse. So at first it started with me intuitively. I didn't even know why I was doing this. I didn't know why I was, crying so much, and, just happy one minute and just overwhelmed with feelings the next minute, up all night, thinking, about this thing that, I know I need to change. It was rough on me, because I've always, been that type of person. I've always carried myself a certain way. I've always, I think it's the Virgo in me, but I've always been, I don't want to really say this, but kind of a material type of person. And I know it's my sign. I'm an earth sign. Earth is material. Earth is things that you can physically touch. So that has a lot to do with my makeup in general. But we all have those things in our lives that we go to for as a clutch, as our safe space, or as our refuge from, the bigger picture of what's going on. So, I realized that, I something's got to change, and I wanted to start small. I wanted to be a different person. I wanted to give this part of myself up, because it's no longer serving me. It's no longer, achieving anything for me that I can see at this point. Meaning before, it was about, it had a lot to do with my self-esteem. It had a lot to do with how I feel I should be portrayed on the outside world, just, and a lot of people do this. Like a lot of young folk, a lot of people my age and younger, or older, feel like that's something that needs to be done, kind of trying to, present yourself in this way, when you really don't have to. You really don't have to be, you really don't have to go out here and do all this and do that just so people can, appreciate you or take you seriously. That was my issue. My issue was, people from the outside looking in looked at me as a person who was had a silver spoon, for instance. People thought that, because of the way I looked, because of the way I carried myself, because of the way I dressed, I was a person that got, just got everything, that they wanted, pretty much. Like people thought that I didn't work for myself, which I've always worked. Things were given to me by my parents, or, he doesn't have to do this, he doesn't have to do that, because his people, they're going to take care of him. But that has never been me. I've always had my own really strong work ethic. Like, I've always been had a really, really strong, work ethic. So, I knew that, that the way people saw me was incorrect. And it was because of the way I presented myself. I presented myself as the person who, didn't really have to want for anything. Always had nice this, always had nice that. And it came off as, he is just spoiled. He's just a spoiled rotten, brat. Even though, I have a really, bright personality. I'm really respectful. I'm, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. I mean, I'm just, that's just the way I was raised. So I've always had that really strong respectability about myself, but people never could see that. They only saw what they wanted to see. So Spirit, talked to me and guided me into the steps I needed to take to change that, because the idea was, if you can change the way you feel about yourself, the outside world will see exactly how you feel, how you truly feel about yourself, regardless of the other things that could be, I call it a shadow type of energy. Oh, look at him, he's got this, he's got that, he's unapproachable, he's, oh, he's okay, he's good, look at him, things like that, And it caused me a lot of relationships. It caused me a lot of friendships, because people just thought this one thing about me in particular. And Spirit said, Justin, you need to change that, because you have so much more to offer people if they are willing to look at you in the light that you are. And that really made me dive into myself like head first, because I felt that, I've always kind of felt that around me. It was always kind of hard for me to really trust people. I've had, maybe a handful of friends, and not necessarily saying that those friends weren't loyal, but some things made me question how genuinely loyal to me, they were, based on things that they would do, things that would get back to me about what was said, it would make me question that. And I've always wanted to be presented, to the world in a different way. Like, don't just there's more to me, excuse me, than what you see. There's, I have so much more to offer if you're willing to, look past what you perceive me as. So Spirit said, Justin, you have to start working on yourself first. It starts with you. You have to dive into yourself and do the work that needs to be done, so you can change yourself, your outer appearance, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you interact with people. So you can change all of that, so that can, reflect outwardly, and change minds, change, your friends, or, just people that you meet in generally that may have this one particular ideal about you when you have so much more to offer. And I began to, cut out things out of my life. Like, I stopped drinking sodas. I cut back on the types of meat I eat. I am a diabetic, so, protein is really important. It's important in my diet, but I have cut out a lot of those things. I've cut out the amount of times I eat a day. And I take in a lot more water just in general, just to cleanse, because I'm saying this because in order for you to hear those messages clearly that Spirit is trying to give you, warn you about, to get you on your path, you have to have a clean God body. And when I say that, I mean, God is in all of us. God's spirit universe is in all of us, who created us. So that means we are Him. We are her. We are it. We are the God body. So in order for you to be able to receive that information that you need from Spirit Source Universe, you have to be pure. You have to cut out, your pork and your bacon and your pig feed and your this and your that and stuff that you intuitively know is no good for your spiritual soul. Once I began to do that, things were coming so fast. It scared me sometimes. Like, I would just be sleeping at night and I would wake up in the middle of the night, just up, like sit straight up, like looking around like, what in the hell is going on? And that would happen to me a lot, and I really didn't know what that was until I did my research. And I went into myself and I asked God, Source, Spirit, I said, what is this? Like, why am I being jolted out of my sleep at this, between the hours of 2 and 5 a.m. almost, every night for about 2 weeks? And what I realized is that when that happens, there is a message for you to receive. There is a message for me to receive when that happens. And what I realized is that when that happens, I immediately need to get up. I need to get my Palo Santos. I need to light it. And I need to go into meditation so that I can get the information that needs to be given to me at that time. I realized that the reason why a lot of people, even if you do it, you may not do it. If you begin to do it, that is an awakening process. The reason why God, Source, Spirit jolts you out of your sleep at the middle of the night in these hours between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. is because that's when the collective is most at still. Meaning that's when everybody sleep, pretty much knocked out, it's quiet. So Spirit can interact with you, personally, because you don't have all these other distractions going on, in your mind. You are in a transit state where you can get this information without outside, interference. Between the hours of 2 and 5 are Spirit working hours. That's when Spirit is trying to work on you. You may wake up in the next day or something like that and see that there are scratches on your back or on your leg or somewhere, a big scratch where you just like, how did I get that? And most people say you're doing it to yourself in your sleep some type of way, even though if you sleep like me with both your hands up under the pillow, it's kind of hard to get a scratch in the middle of your back, so what that is that Spirit interacting with you. It's not to scare you. It's not to, have you thinking that, oh God, something bad is happening. Pretty much Spirit is laying hands on you. That's basically what that is, Spirit is trying to calm you, trying to get you prepared, for your ascension. So that you can understand and not be in a panic state and not go into a low vibrational state because of what's going on. And you can get that information that you need clearly. It's not jogged. It's not, a blur. It's not, something that you're not going to understand. When you get this information, you're going to know how to use it. Even if you don't readily off the bat know, you're probably just going to be doing things and not knowing that you're being led by the divine. So once I began to, clean my internal palate, eat healthier, more greens, less red meats, things like that. Once I began to do that, things were coming a lot faster. And, I realized that, this is what I need to be doing. This is working for me. I can see this working for me. Like, and when I say I could see it working for me, I would mind you guys, at that point, I had been out of work for maybe about a month, and, I was kind of stressed out about it because I've always been a really hardworking person and I have really great skills. So, it wasn't like, I wasn't doing the work that I needed to do to put myself back to work. But I realized quickly that Spirit had work for me to do on myself. Spirit said, you know, Justin, I want you to realize, and this is where faith comes in. You know, you hear a lot of religious organizations talking about, you know, faith and faith and faith. But do you really have faith? Like, when you ask yourself that, do you really, truly have faith? That was the question that was asked to me by Spirit. And I consciously or subconsciously told myself, well, of course I have, you know, faith. And Spirit response to me was, okay, well, let me see. I'm going to see how much faith you actually have. So, you know, I said, okay, Spirit, you know, whatever you need me to do, whatever I have to do, I'm willing to do it to get to the place that I already envision myself being. You know, I already see, you know, when you dream and you see things in your dream that you want for yourself, or that you see things in your dream that that look like they may be in the future, they are. That is Spirit telling you that, you know, what you're asking for from me is possible, is on the way, is in the 4D, 5D, and I need you to bring it down into the 3D, into your physical life, so that you can have these things that you desire. But first, there's work on you that needs to be done. And I dove right in. I was, and it started with my mind. Like I said in my last video, it really started with my mind, because it was hard for me not to worry. I'm a Virgo, and I am by the book, order, order, order. So when you get out of order, into confusion, for somebody like me, it can cause a lot of mental combobulation, a lot of negativity, a lot of fear-based type thoughts, and stress that kills. So my first task was to take it one day at a time. Spirit said, Justin, take it one day at a time. If you can take it one day at a time, you'll rid yourself of this type of emotion that is blocking you, blocking your miracles, blocking your manifestations. If you can think positive for one day, no negativity at all in your mind space, in your third eye space. No negativity whatsoever. I don't want any negative, low vibrational thoughts. I don't want you thinking about how you're going to do this, or when you're going to get that, or when they're going to call you for this, or, I don't want you to think about any of that, because I've already told you, as long as you do the work that's supposed to be done for yourself, God, Source, Spirit, will provide for you. Don't worry about any of those things, those 3D things, those material things, those things that you think are not working out for you. They are, as long as you're working on yourself. So, me being a Virgo, I have to see things. Like, I just, it's really hard for me to just know something. I need proof. Like, and I know I'm not the only person that's like that, but usually I need proof to have that reassurance, to be able to do those things, to be able to focus on, keeping my vibrations high and staying positive. I needed proof that the things that I need are working out for me. When I tell you proof came. I mean, it was about, like, I did it for 2 weeks. I did it for 14 days, and it was rough. Like, guys, it was so hard. It was almost physically painful, because, after when your brain has been, structured in a form for so many years, and has that same thought process for so many years of how things are working, and how you thought things were supposed to work, it's hard to break that. It's really hard. It can tear you down. It can make you feel like you're going crazy. It can make you feel like you're nuts. But if you stay on your path, if you stay focused on blocking out that negativity, blocking out anything that you feel like is going to, bad is going to happen. You don't know where you're going to get the money for this, or, oh, this bill is coming up, or, oh, if I don't have this, I'm going to lose this. If you can stop thinking about those, that's the hardest thing for people to do. I know it because it was hard for me. But if you can stop those type of thoughts, gosh, I'm sweating. If you can stop those type of thoughts and keep your vibrations high for 2 days, after 2 days, gift yourself. Do something for yourself nice, because it is so hard to, not think negatively for 2 days, especially when you at the beginning of trying something new. It's worth a try, and that's what I told myself. I said, what's the worst that could happen, if I try these things? And I'm so glad I did. I'm so grateful for the fact that Spirit, God, Universe interfered in my life like he did, he or she or it did, to get me where I needed to be, because I was very low, you guys. I was in such a low vibration. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I was just like really, really down, like in a depressed state of mind, kind of. And after those 2 days, out of the blue, I don't even know how this happened, but out of the blue, I got like a reimbursement from PayPal, from like some years ago. Like, and it was just like my goodness, like I am sitting here so worried and so stressed out about where I'm going to get, my income from, how am I going to make it? My bills weren't really, really bad off, because like I said, I had went on vacation, and I had, kind of went into my 401k a little bit for that vacation, and I needed it. So I also pay my bills up. But at the same time, as a Virgo, I am very orderly. Like, I like to know, if my bills are, paid, I need to know that I'm working, so that when the bills come out, for the next go around, I'm good to pay those things, and Spirit came in quickly and said, look, you don't need to worry about any of that. Stop worrying about that. And let me guide you. Let me show you the work you need to do on yourself, so that you can improve your gratitude, so that you can be more receptive as far as the law of attraction, manifestation, and so that you can just be in a more positive and more high vibration, where you may not know where you're going, you may not know exactly what steps to take, but that's what faith is. Faith is you stepping out, being the fool. And I don't mean like you out here acting crazy and doing stupid stuff. I mean the fool. What the fool is the fool is the person that is walking along, trotting along, doing their thing, but not necessarily having a clear idea of where they're going, but having the knowing that where they're going is great. It's going to lift them up. It's going to bring them abundance. It's going to lift the vibrations of the world. It's going to improve them, more than anything. Having that notion that, I'm walking in faith, 100% faith, not knowing. And, and guys, like, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, since 2019, when I had lost my job back in September, and, I had been doing everything I was trying to do to, regain employment and everything like that. This is how Spirit works. It's now March, 2020. I have things going on. I have bills and, insurance and car payment and, all sorts and kinds of things going on. But you guys, I have not physically worked since October. So that should let you know some kind of way that, Spirit is real. What you want is already there. What you need is already there. You are, how can I say this? You are deserving. It is your birthright to have everything you need, everything you want. Because you, like I said, we all are a representation of the God body. There's nothing that we can't have, you know? But it's not going to just fall out of the sky. You know, you have to do the work, and what we have to do and how we have to start, how we have to get on that path to doing that work is going within. You know what I'm saying? I said in my last video that, you know, Spirit, God, Universe doesn't just give to just anybody. You know, Spirit, God, Universe gives to those who deserve, those who are on their path, those who are walking in light. And when I say walking in light, meaning doing a divine type of doing a divine type of work, nursing, doctors, pastors, you know, counselors, child therapists, things like that. People that are doing those type of things that lift the vibration of the world. Any type of job, career, field that can do that. Those are people that are walking on a divine path. Those are the people that can, you know, go out here and not have to worry and not have to stress and be, you know, fearful. Those people have a strong intuitive knowing what they are doing is right. And the work is not work. You know, the work is more so something that I love to do that does not feel like I am having to, doesn't feel like work. I put it like that, you know, and that's why I bring it back to myself. When I say, you know, maybe I'm not supposed to right now because Spirit is still working on me. But what I can tell you is that I'm not wanting for anything. My mind is so clear. Like, I even one time tried to have a low vibrational thought, and it was, I can't, like, I just, after a month, and when you continue, and when you're able to see in the 3D that these things are happening for you, who would go back to thinking low vibrational? Who would go back to having negative thoughts? Who would go back to surrounding themselves with, you know, the people that don't vibe on that level that you're trying to achieve? Why would you go back to indulging in, you know, that type of food that would just destroy your ability to interact with God's Spirit Universe? Why would you, when you're already seeing these things, you know, working for you, you know? And so that's why it's hard. You know, I gave myself a test. I said, well, I'm going to just try. And, you know, everything hasn't been, you know, all the way pleasant, but I look at the things that most people look at as a setback as a test. I look at, you know, certain things that I go through as a, well, not certain things, everything as a reason. You know, it's either to teach me a lesson or it's a part of my overall growth process, you know, how I interact with people, how I treat people, things that happen just naturally on a day-to-day basis, how I, like I said before, God is still judging us, still giving us a score. So, you know, it's always good to do that self-reflection on yourself as well, to make sure that you are not out of line with and out of tune with your intuition. Because your intuition is strong. Everybody has that ability to tap into their inner knowing. We all have that compass, you know. Some people don't listen to theirs, because for years I didn't listen to my inner compass until it was almost too late, until it was almost a point where I was being pushed into a deep, deep depression. And Spirit, God, Universe said, no, we are trying to show you that we have things that we need you to do. You know, we gave you all these years to be this and do that and be flashy and fly and rims and da on your cars. And now we need you to get on your path. You have so much more work to do. You have a certain light about yourself that can draw people in. You know, you have a certain clarity with your words and your aura. that people can understand and people need to hear. So I need you to get it together, Justin. That's what Spirit said. And I gladly obliged, because I didn't want to continue feeling the way I felt. It was the worst. I've never felt that way. And I knew it wasn't myself. I knew it wasn't like me to be feeling like that, because I'm always really, excuse me, guys. I'm always really positive. I'm always really, I'm always really uplifting around a lot of people, around my friends, around my family, because I've always put off that light, just not, not really knowing why, until I had to dive within myself. And now I realize, why I was always such a light, and why I could draw so many people in, why I've always had a lot of friends and all those things. But I was looking at it in a non-beneficial way. And now it's important that everybody gets, on their path, interact with Spirit and the universe more, because of where we are now, it's really important that we all get there together. We all come into this new ready, not holding old baggage and, having those same issues that we had last year, and, holding on to old feuds and things like that, because life is short. Like, we realize that more so now than ever, that life is short and it's not promised. So don't hold back. Don't hold back feelings of appreciation, feelings of love, don't hold back those inner emotions that need to be felt right now, because that is a part of you lifting the vibration. If you feel the need to go out here and do something to help somebody, do not listen to that. It's a reason that you feel that way. If you're out here and you see something that may just make you break down, like you never have before, or like you've never broke down before, it's a reason for that. That is you purging your spirit. That is you purging your body of something that has been on you for a long time, and it's important that you get that out, you release that, you cry. I say this all the time to a lot of people that I know. I don't understand why men don't really cry a lot, I know it's a lot to deal with the way society has placed this big burden on men to be so this, and you gotta be, and you can't cry, or you're a punk. Well, that's a lot of the reason why you have so many males. You have a lot of females too, but you have so many guys that are in prison doing these destructive things to women, doing these destructive things to themselves, that, and a lot of that is because the pressure that society puts on men, period, is messes with the mental in some form. It may not be that person is dangerous, or a criminal or something like that, or just out here, doing the most. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but there is something in a lot of males that we hold within ourselves. And, it's important that we address those issues, because those are the type of issues that keep us out of really good committed relationships. Keep us out of love. Keep us in jail. And keeps us off of our path. Those type of things that aren't addressed, that we hold and we bring into new relationships, and we bring it into our family lives, and we bring it into our friendship lives, are the type of things that we have to address within ourselves to make us better people, to rid ourselves of that stagnant, emotion that we have just buried, that we have just kept inside of us, and I believe that doing that, we're pretty much lift up the vibration of the world, because, a lot of people say, the world is ran by men. And if that's the case, that the world is ran by, men, it definitely shows now, it definitely shows, with where we are in society today, and, with what's going on. It definitely shows, like, the things that have gone on and that have happened in the world is a really masculine type of energy. And it's been like that for a while. But with this balance that's coming into place, that feminine aspect of, everybody, we all are, possess the masculine and the feminine within ourselves, But the key to that, and to that prosperity and that abundance that we all have within ourselves, is to have that balance, And, when you have a majority of the male population that is overly into this masculine energy, the feminine energy within them is out of balance. It's unheard. You can't speak to it. You ignore it, and that comes with, that's why I said, that's how society has put that pressure on men to bog down that feminine energy, to not show your soft side, not be compassionate, to not cry, to not show compassion, to not care, to be heartless. That is a part of what society has placed on us, as males. And I feel like that is going to change, because so many people are leaving this earth. So many people are dying right now. And, it's really making the masculine realize that the feminine within them is crying out, is speaking to their heart space. The feminine energy within them is speaking, within me and us and all males is speaking to their heart space, wanting them to open it up, be kind, be caring, be thoughtful, help somebody out, breathe life instead of breathing hate. So, I believe that is where we're headed. I'm so grateful, because, I see a lot of women go through with their spouses, and it's just the feminine energy in females that always allows for forgiveness, and that male in the relationship is allowed to, come back and potentially do the same thing over again, because they know they're going to be forgiven. I am so tired of that. I want women to, know their worth in relationships. I want women to empower themselves first before they go out and try to empower a relationship, because that self-worth will present in who you attract. And when I say that, I mean, if you are always attracting these very unfinancially stable, not caring, not wanting to hold down a real job type men, you really have to look at yourself, and you really have to look at why you are attracting these type of men. You are attracting these type of men because you are mirroring yourself to these guys, whoever you're interested in. When I say that, I mean you are seeking a counterpart that reflects your inner feelings towards yourself. And I know it sounds crazy, and everybody said, oh no, I have a bad choice in men. That's it. you do have a bad choice in men because you don't put yourself in a high enough stance. You don't sit back and present just that feminine quality. You want to save the man. You want to, oh, I got to help him do this. I got to go bail him out. I got to go, and when you put that off, that's what you're going to attract. You're going to attract somebody that's in and out of jail, somebody that is not stable, somebody that cannot hold down a job, somebody that does not take care of their kids. That's because you have the work to do in yourself. I tell people this all the time. That's where the phrase "looking for love in all the wrong places" comes from. Because generally we look at love from the outside when we should be looking at love from the inside. Meaning we look at what we see on the physical and, oh God, that is it. But that's not necessarily the case. Looks are important, but at the same time, looks fade. What does not fade is the heart space. When somebody is genuine in their heart space, that's always going to shine over looks, over, whatever, how they provide, not necessarily how they provide, because if you're meeting somebody on your level that you say that you want, they're going to be on your level financially. But like I said before, the work has to be done in yourself, so that you can find that true mirror of yourself. Somebody that's loyal, holds it down, cooks when I'm working late, runs me some bath water if when I get home and I'm tired, watches the kids when I may not be feeling well, or runs errands and cuts the grass and wash the cars and things like that. The things that you truly want, you will have. The things that you truly want in your soul, you will have once that work is done, And that's why I said in my last video, a lot of people are going to be coming into unions, a lot of people are going to be expressing their love, how they really feel, they're going to be saying, I've been feeling like this for so long, and with all we've been going through, I didn't know how you was doing, if you made it, if you was good or not. I just got to let you know, this is how I truly feel. And, and don't take it the wrong way, but it was on my heart heavy. It's going to be a lot of heart chakra, interaction going on, once we can actually get back out and start moving in public again. That's going to be a big thing. And that's how I know that people are going to be coming together, expressing how they really feel, displaying their emotions, helping each other out more. I already see it happening now, and I'm so thankful for all the hard work that the nurses and the doctors and these companies are doing to try to help, with what's going on in the world. When I say unity, on 100 right now. And that's what we need. And I hope that stays, even once we move past this, I hope that unity stays, because that is going to keep all of us here, at that balance, It's hard to go out here and be, so mean and so hateful and so cruel when everybody around you is just being joyful and spreading their light, Eventually, you're not going to have, your powers are useless eventually, because, it's so much light out here, So you don't have any other choice but to, get information. But, with what's going on right now, and what I see, what I hear, and, when I'm out and about and I interact with spirit, I ask, I say, how are we doing? I know we can do better, but how are we doing? And, I get that information. I get that, that A+ knowing that, we are doing all that we can right now, because the need is so serious, and we are on the right path. I'll say that we are on the right path. I am, I'm so glad for what I'm seeing, how people are helping out. You have so many volunteers that are willing to, volunteer their time and their health to help the less fortunate and the people that need the help. That is unity at its finest. That is you know, humanity at its peak. And we needed to see that, you know. It's so uplifting. It makes me want to go out and do more, and it just makes me want to be, you know, continue to be a positive light for so many people that that are viewing my posts that I put out on YouTube. And just let you guys know that, you know, continue to do that work, you know. Set small goals. Small goals, when you can complete small goals, then you can set yourself up for medium-sized goals. When you can complete medium-sized goals, you can go to big goals. And once you hit your big goals, you're home free, you know. You don't have anything to worry about. Once you're on that big goal, big goals, that means that all the smaller goals that you set for yourself, you've already achieved. And that's what I'm doing myself. I'm setting little goals at a time to be able to achieve them, in order to get to where my dreams present, you know. There are things that I want, you know, and I see those things. But I also see the steps that have to be taken to get to those dreams and bring those dreams into reality. So, guys, I'm already at 51 minutes. I'm burning up out here in my car. I know I said I wasn't going to do another one, but I don't even have my, you know, things set up yet for me to do these videos yet in my home. So once I get that, then I'll be switching over and going on the inside and doing these videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.